Wow, what a game. The Rangers stay alive. They take game 5, making this series 3-2. There are a few storylines to talk about in this game. Starting off with a Pittsburgh 2-0 lead, a New York Rangers comeback to make it 3-2, a 3-3 tie, Sidney Crosby concussed, Jacob Trouba, dirty or non-dirty hit, Crosby leaving the game. What does this mean for the Penguins going forward? Why can't referees make any calls? What's going on if you're a Penguins fan? Oh my God, cheer if you're a Rangers fan. Is Shesterkin back? This was a bananas, absolutely bananas game. I don't know what's going on in the playoffs. Let's talk about it. New York Rangers outshoot the Pittsburgh Penguins at 34-32, routing them 5-3. One was an empty net goal, so for all intents and purposes, the game was this close going in, and that is 2 games we have seen now between the Bolts blowing a 2-0 lead and the Pittsburgh Penguins blowing a 2-0 lead, and I don't say that lightly because this game turned on its head after that Jacob Trouba hit. The New York Rangers showed a little bit of battle back, very similar to the Toronto Maple Leafs in the Tampa Bay game. These young teams in the playoffs. So we know who the young teams are. We know who the veteran teams are. Pittsburgh's a veteran team. New York's the young and up and coming team. These young teams who are not playoff tested. Igor Shesterkin's first test in the NHL postseason, for example. Normally, these young teams have to lose at the hand of a veteran team in order to gain that playoff experience, come back, be bigger, better, faster. A lot of people had the Rangers picked in this series because of the regular season, Shesterkin, and what they are able to do to the Penguins. But the Penguins have completely thrashed them up till today. They end up with a 2-0 lead, and you'd think that's it. It's done. It's over. Pittsburgh is on their way, and then a game-breaking hit changes everything. Why? Because if you didn't believe my last video where I said Sidney Crosby is the best player in the world, I don't know what more you need to see. He leaves the game off the back of the hit, and the Pittsburgh Penguins all but fall apart, losing 3-1 without him in the lineup. The power play doesn't work properly. Line 1 doesn't work properly. The Pittsburgh Penguins are in complete disarray. Evgeni Malkin can't carry. Jake Guentzel can't carry without Sidney Crosby, even though he ends up getting a goal. Kris Legang does his best. But when you lose the best player in the world off your team, it is devastating. And if you've been on this channel for some time, if you're new, welcome, hello. But if you've been on this channel for some time, you remember me talking about the 10 requirements to win a Stanley Cup. I ranked goalie 3. I said your number 1 elite center is 1 and your number 1 elite defenseman is 2. Very, very difficult to win a Stanley Cup when you lose a player of Sidney Crosby's caliber, no matter who is in net. So the Penguins have battled through thick and thin. No Rickard Rakell, no Tristan Jarry, no Casey DeSmith, and now no Sidney Crosby. We all know Sidney Crosby's well-documented list of injuries and concussions specifically. We thought maybe he was leaving the game for a bit of a tune-up. Penguins fans were crossing their fingers, hoping maybe it was an equipment malfunction. I knew as soon as that hit landed, I'm like, he's done. I am not a doctor. I cannot confirm concussion, but I imagine what we'll hear from the Penguins is day-to-day upper body injury. Thanks, NHL. How long is this going to take? He could be out the rest of the series. This might have turned everything in favor of New York. All right, let's take a look at it right off the draw here. Bam! Stick right to the face. Unbelievable. Linesman standing there. I mean, you can't see the linesman face, but I'm sure he's like, oh boy, no call. Absolutely no call for a stick right to the mouth. A few seconds later, Jacob Trouba on the train tracks. Sidney Crosby is caught looking at the puck, and that is an elbow to the head. Let's go see if we can slow it down here. You can see it there, plain as day. That is what you call a chicken wing. So that's a 90-degree elbow bend. Elbow is up, makes contact with Crosby's head. The contact to the head is first. Crosby crumbles like a sack of potatoes. That's what happens when you get a monster like Trouba on the train tracks. Never mind a hit to the head. That, to me, is an absolute clear elbow to the head, as unbiased as I can call it. Now, both of those by the NHL rulebook are penalties. Are they penalties in the playoffs? I guess not. Is the playoffs being called like the playoffs where you expect stuff like this to be let go? Absolutely not. They're calling everything. Chintzy calls all over the ice, all over every series, everywhere in the NHL. And we'll make a video about all these penalties later, but we're going to stick on topic here. So they miss these two calls. It absolutely changes the dynamic of the game because not only do you lose your best player, but Jacob Trouba doesn't get a game misconduct for a check to the head. Of course, it's not going to be a 5-minute. Crosby doesn't lay down on the ice. I want to take a moment here to pause to anybody that thinks Sidney Crosby is a whiny crybaby or that the league has rules to protect him and all this crap that I end up hearing. Jets fan, not biased. Pick the Rangers in this series, not biased. This is just pragmatic analysis. Stop saying that. I have seen all the clips, all the videos, all the blah, blah, blah. This guy doesn't get any calls. He plays very physical. He plays in the hard areas. He plays in the dirty areas. He's done a few dirty things himself. He ain't no saint. I have made an entire video on cheap shots from superstars. Crosby debuted in that a couple times. The NHL isn't protecting its players by allowing this stuff to happen, and it doesn't just happen to Crosby. It happens all over the league. We talk about it all the time. We always get worked up. Travesty of the game, blah, 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 blah. And Coach Ryan D always comes back to the last point. Here's where the Ranger fans will end up liking me. Oh, well. What are you going to do? Cry about it? There's nothing you can do about it. The Department of Player Safety will review it. They'll spin the wheel of suspension, as we call it, which is click, 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 click. How many games do you get between 1 and 5? He'll get a suspension or a $5,000 fine, which would just be like, whatever, or nothing. Could be anything, really. It's the wheel of suspension. And we'll all end up moving on. I have no idea what constitutes a rule in the NHL as suspension or anything like that. All I can tell you is I thought that was a high stick. I think that's a high hit. It totally changes the series. And the outcome of it doesn't change anything because he got to stay in the game. Crosby left, he being Trouba. The game totally flipped on its head at this point. The entire series may have flipped its head on its point. Should it be called? Shouldn't it be called? I stopped worrying about that a long time ago. I just accept that this is the game. I accept it is what it is. I accept the players sign up to go into here, and I get comments all the time. They don't sign up to be injured or concussed. They don't, but the players aren't pressuring the referees to change this at all en masse. Nobody is putting on cages or mouth guards en masse. There's no ear guards. There's no neck guards. So they may not sign up for it, but they're not necessarily asking to be protected or even wearing the proper equipment to protect themselves from this. So again, I say to you, I don't know. I'm not a ref, not the Department of Player Safety, and my opinion on this matter is completely irrelevant. The only opinion that matters is the referee in the game, the NHL, and the Department of Safety. So I don't have anything to side to in this one other than, yay, NHL. You wonder why people are confused by this game if they haven't watched it before. So after all that fun chat, if you're new to this channel, do us a favor, big thumbs up, subscribe down below, Penguins, Ranger fans. You guys made our last video the most poppin' video of the playoffs, almost 8,000 views, 192 subscribers from that video. Wowza. Humbled. Thank you very much. We also have a few ways that you can support us through monetization means, if you so choose, but the free stuff, we're always going to be free. We're always going to be here. We have a members page down below. If you want to join the coach's staff, meaning you want more intimate interaction with Coach Ryan D about the game of hockey, you want first response on comments, you want to go back and forth about anything. Heck, if you even want me to make a video for you once a month on a topic, anything to do with hockey, any player, anything about the game, I will make that, post it publicly, and thank you for that video. You want a shout out, we're there as well too. So hey, join the staff, work the way through, it's fantastic. And if you're not into the subscribe or the membership basis, we also have a super thanks down below. Either way, it's great. Whether you can or can't, a big thumbs up will do. Just watching this video will do. And funny smart-ass comments down below are welcome. But I don't know if you've caught on to this yet. I will clap back. It's nothing personal. But now that that's out of the way, let's get after breaking down those goals. Guentzel, Rust, and Crosby doing their thing down low, getting the Rangers out of position. The cycle and the speed. It's the damage of what Crosby can do on this shift. Take a look at Sid. Again, we talk about this. People say he doesn't go to the net. He doesn't play the dirty areas. Here it is. Battle in front of the net. Sid the Kid is always doing things the right way. Strong as strong can be. This is a very brilliant play. Get behind the goalie. Why wouldn't you? You have the right to that ice as well too. Worst you're going to get is a goalie interference if the goalie ends up touching you the wrong way. Best you're going to get is a goal. So he ends up getting in there. Quick shot. Doesn't slide behind Shesterkin, but look at the stick tie up from Sidney Crosby. I talk about this all the time from defensemen. Lift the stick of the player. Don't cross-check him in the back. Lift the stick. It's the right call. Why does it take the centerman to show defensemen how to do their job? Crosby is in beautiful position right here. He's low, he's strong, he's using those big legs, all that muscle, lifting that stick, ends up allowing that puck to sneak in because the defenseman can't seal the post along with Shesterkin. Beautiful goal by Jake Guentzel, but I'm just going to point out the greatness that is Crosby because this may be the last time we see him in the playoffs. This series. In hockey, there's a phenomenon that I've noticed. Every time you miss a chance going down in a rush, you shoot wide, block shot, hit a post or a great save, it always ends up in the back of your net. New York is outworking Pittsburgh here, out shooting them 10-17. And what do we see? Block shot. Nice little drag and toe shot, but that block shot allows Pittsburgh to pick up the puck here and leave on the rush. I feel like this happens all the time. The next thing you end up seeing here is a pinch. You don't want to make this pinch because you can't 100% get this puck. So now you're going to get trapped with 4 deep. You only want to pinch when you are 100% to get that puck. That is way too much gap before the puck. So that's just a young man getting a little bit overexcited and pushing for pressure. And this is why pucks turn over and go the other way when you miss the net. You think you're on offense, you're not. You got to start thinking defense. Good defense leads to good offense always. That puck moves up the ice as you see it. We have a stretch man here with Pittsburgh. Now New York ends up a little bit caught. Beautiful play at the line. I mean, I know it's a little bit of a fumble, but still high skill to be able to find that puck and stay onside. That ends up creating the 2-on-1. Malkin is going to go ahead and feed Kris Letang. Kris Letang's a freaking beauty, is he not? Look at that pause. Big reach out and dive. It's going to cross the royal road that we talk about all the time. Anytime that puck goes across the middle, and any goalie has to make a 180-degree push. Good luck. Good night. It's why this goal works in NHL 22 all the time. Bang! Nothing you're going to do against an elite shooter like that. And it all starts with a block shot in the other end and a poor pinch because the team thinks they're still on offense. But don't fret, Ranger fans, because Adam Fox is here to save the day. This guy is lights out elite. Look, you'd normally be looking to pass or a slap shot here at this point. Most defensemen would do that. Not Adam Fox. Adam Fox is going to take a lot of time here with this puck. He's going to freeze the goalie out. This is what I love about Fox. Look at that little move. Now, I normally don't like overstick handles, but when they're elite players here like Fox, you let them do what they need to do in the kitchen. He steps in, beautiful fake shot. What does that little move do for you? You got to take a look at the little things in Fox's game. Watch little head fake. Bang. Foot comes up. You could see this one come up. Head goes this way. It's actually forcing Domingue to look right. And what Fox is actually doing is trying to sneak the puck to the right, which sounds confusing because both are going right, but they're mirror images of each other at this point right now. So it makes sense. One's going to the right, the other one's going to his right, as long as you're talking about the player or the goalie's right, which means I'm right. However, you can see when the goalie's looking to his right, Fox is looking to go to his right. That is going to open up a hole here at the top of the net. So we get a little fake shot, a little stick handle, get the goalie to bite. This is a goal scorer's tactic all day, every day, man. And he ends up laying out Domingue and he finds, bang, just a beautiful bar down ski shot. That is a sniper. That is one of the best defensemen in the NHL right there. You might think there's a lot of players in the league that do these little things. There isn't. It's like the top 10%, 5% realize to do it, and there's only a select few that do it every time and better than anybody else. Crosby's one of them on one side, Fox is another on another side. These guys are just on another level. How about Lafreniere here with a goal? I told you it could be an X factor of this. Lafreniere if you're American, Lafreniere if you're Canadian, especially French, ends up moving it down low. Now, you're going to notice what Lafreniere does here. Lafreniere, he's going to get lost in front of the net. You might think, like, how do players do this? Elite goal scorers do this all the time. So Trouba ends up holding the puck in, moving it down low, which is great. What Pittsburgh needs to do now is move in front of the net and seal up the posts. However, that's going to require the centerman on the line, which is Malkin, to come down low and take Lafreniere. So you end up here with two defensemen that should be sealing this post. Malkin, who should be coming down to support the puck, and 2 wingers for Pittsburgh that should be coming down here. So you end up in a little bit of a box +1 around the house. We see Malkin making his way there, but unfortunately he doesn't take the right path. Straight lines are the way to go. So he ends up moving more to the high slot in order to cover number 72. He thinks that's the threat, but the little bit of sauce goes over the stick to Lafreniere and he ends up burying it. Of course he doesn't miss. Now you can't blame Gino. There's just a hockey IQ sense to this. One of the greatest players to ever play. If he thinks it's going to go to 72, I am nobody to question this guy on it. But if it's me and I'm breaking down this tape for Malkin after in the dressing room, I'm going to say, you know what? Next time we should just go to the net, because at the end of the day, whoever is closest to the net is also a danger and maybe you can block a shot. But when you're the greatest, maybe the greatest Russian player to ever play, not named Alexander Ovechkin, you get a pass. People ask me all the time, Ryan, why do you hate my hockey team? And I say, I don't. I like most hockey teams. The only things I don't like are Jacob Trouba and the Phoenix Coyotes. One of them ranks way higher than the other one, but Jacob Trouba ends up tying the game. Trouba with a really nifty move here down low gets Pittsburgh to bite. The $8.5 million man moves in, and when this guy wants the motor, he can motor. I know all about him, played on the Jets for quite some time. He ends up making a couple beautiful, beautiful moves. Like, he has hands when he wants to use them, and when he makes them, he beats everybody there to walk it in. There's nothing you're going to do on this one. This is just a skilled player beating another player with skill. There's nothing you can coach, teach, or anything to get around this. He made a bunch of beautiful dangles. Domingue, a billion people in front of the net. What are you going to do? I love the fact that Trouba put it on the ice. So maybe I don't like Jacob Trouba, but I sure like that goal. Jake Guentzel responds with a goal of his own. Look, I know there's going to be somebody in the comments there who said, what do you mean Jake Guentzel can't carry? He was in the All-Star game. Sidney wasn't. He got 2 goals tonight. Look, if you put a gun to your head and say, do you want Sidney Crosby on your team or Jake Guentzel? Pick one. If you pick Guentzel, you've picked wrong. Malkin is behind the net here. You can see the New York Rangers in the exact formation I talked about previously on the Pittsburgh goal. We talk about a box +1, 1 in the middle, 2 near the post, and 2 up high. The problem is that your guy up high here is looking to leave the zone. Like, this isn't body position. He needs to open up and be ready to the puck. The second guy here also needs to pick up a player. I don't know what both these guys are doing, but it's the wrong thing. They just happen to be in the right position. Because of that body position being wrong, you can see Jake Guentzel ends up getting in there, and that stick reaches in just way too late. I get he was trying to go there. I get it's 100 miles an hour for a game, but he really wasn't making his way to there a frame ago, and you could see it in his skating stride. So you might think like, hey, look, he's trying. No, he isn't. This isn't a skating stride. Take a look at it. Do you see any leg push here? I don't see any leg push here. I see a guy gliding. So even though the game's fast and it looks like he made effort, this is why video is wonderful, because I can give this player crap in the dressing room and say, hey man, pick it up. You need that extra stride. Makes all the difference in the playoffs. Guentzel with a beautiful goal. The Rangers in the right position, but both players on top. Tactically, yuck. Not good ways to play defense. Get your feet going the right way. Do the right habits down low. Everybody needs to contribute to team defense. These two did not. Unfortunately, this may be the goal in the game where the dam bursts on Domingue. Domingue has been fantastic. I made a video about it where I said you can't have him in long-term. Jari needs to return sooner than later. You'll see a little bit of a messy zone entry here. This should spell death for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Unfortunately, it does, but Pittsburgh does a pretty good job here tying it up. Unfortunately, it's a bad bounce. I love what Pittsburgh does here. They send 2 to the puck. They got aggressive. That's exactly what you need to do. I say it all the time, send the dogs. If it ends up squeaking through, congratulations, you get a goal. That's exactly what ends up happening here. That puck takes a bad bounce, and I'm not blaming Domingue for this, saying, man, you played bad, you played like crap. I'm just saying that he was making incredible saves for the first few games of this series, and then he just gets sniped here, bar down from a dangerous area. Domingue was making those saves and then some repeatedly, save 1, 2, 3 in a row. Before shot 4 would go in the previous games. But unfortunately, a couple of these first shots end up going in on Domingue, and that makes all the difference in the world. So that's it. That's the game. Big momentum swing, big change. 3-2 series. Pittsburgh leads. Where Crosby is at, anybody knows. Only Crosby and the doctors will know. We won't get any update until he steps out there on the ice. So if you're a Penguins fan, fingers crossed he's okay. If you're a Rangers fan, fingers crossed you got away with one. That's the way it goes. Nobody cares how you get it done when you're the winning team. Pittsburgh may care, Pittsburgh fans may care, but I'm going to tell you right now, the Rangers won't think twice of it, neither will their fans. Doesn't make them bad people, just makes them people in a results-based business, and the results-based business is the Cup. And for one team this year, business will be good, so they'd like to be that team, and they're going forward. Again, not a travesty of the game, dirty hit in my opinion, but irrelevant because the NHL will do what it's got to do. It's part of the game. Happens all over the ice. Happens to every team. It's not a conspiracy theory. Take the tinfoil hat off, but you're allowed to be an emotional wreck over it. We'll catch you guys for Game 6.